Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It is Local Chat, episode 229. I'm your host, Will Crosby. Joining me this week in a tank top, Ian Gibson.
Hey, how do you guys feel about adult juice boxes? This one's got Chardonnay in it. You guys, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like aren't those better for the environment? So, I'm positive about those.
Better than glass?
Oh, probably not better.
Yeah, you can't kill someone.
Well, I don't know. But remember, recycling is one of those things where it's like...
Yeah, glass is like the most easily recyclable thing, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like
you are in Florida, though, so they're probably not recycling shit. They're just chucking that into the ocean.
Oh, no. Actually, we've got great recycling. We've got great single-stream recycling.
I was just joking
it's just one of those,
all the Republicans, but yeah.
Recycling is one of those things where it's like, it's a great idea, and then I bet if you look into the numbers, like half the time it's actually not a good idea. Like it's too much energy and effort to recycle an item as opposed to just making a new one. Yeah.
Sort of true, especially for different types of materials. Yeah.
But I think you're right. Glass is probably easy.
Energy conscious David from Save Data is here. Here to tell you about the microplastics in your balls.
That's where they go.
We all got them.
They go to the lowest point.
Yeah, there's there with all the pee that's stored in there. Wait, I want a live review of the Chardonnay. Have you had the Chardonnay before?
I don't think I've had the black box Chardonnay. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. The whole thing about black box is that they're like, we are premium boxed wine. But they offer these smaller ones, which I like because I don't know if you guys were aware of this. Turns out it's a real thing, which is if you open a bottle of wine, you have to you either have to finish it in 2 days or put it in the fridge because it will pretty quickly turn to like a vinegar taste. Yep. And the problem is I don't drink wine that fast. But the nice thing about these is they're small, they fit in the fridge, and there's not a lot of them. So this will be like probably 2-3 nights worth of wine for me. So it's better than a bottle.
There are a couple ways to prevent it going bad. They sell these tops that like vacuum seal. That work okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're not the best, but they work okay. And then the actual best way is kind of stupid. You can get like a canister of like nitrogen gas, basically.
Oh yeah,
and you just pump that into the bottle and then put a cork back on, and the nitrogen will prevent it from going bad because it's oxygen in the air that makes it go bad.
See, I had to go down this route because my dad and my brother-in-law got into wine a couple of years ago, and they've been decanting it. And that actually does help a lot to decant it and like through an aerator to just get rid of some of the funk.
Don't do that for whites, but
yeah, for reds. But the problem was I decanted it and I slowly drank it over a week, and like halfway through it just started getting more and more vinegary because I didn't have room to keep it in my fridge. So like I like wine, but I do not like wine enough to go through the bullshit of like properly liking wine, which is either drink a bottle at a time or invest in a lot of shit or fridge space to keep it okay.
Well, and like if you decant it
are better
and then don't drink it all, that's even worse because you're basically introducing air.
And that was the problem I ran into. Yeah. So I'm just going to juice boxes. When I want wine, I just go get a juice box.
What flight is that? Like, it's a black box. What flight is it?
Oh. Sorry, I thought that was like a bad beer joke, like a flight of beer.
No, I realized that, and I wasn't going to do the joke, but then I just went for it.
Hey, you were part of this wine conversation before, and I'd prefer if you'd stay out of it if that's the level of contribution. I was going to chime in that I like wine. Actually, the wine that Karen and I, that John bought for the table on the cruise at that Italian restaurant, we buy that at Total Wine now. It's Mirasso, I think it is. It's really good. Yeah, send me the link. I'll go get to my Total Wine.
You should try that in California a lot.
It was $42 for the bottle on the cruise. It is $6 a bottle at Total Wine.
Oh, jeez Louise.
It's awesome.
I was about to say, because I drink wine infrequently, if it's a fantastic wine, I'd pay $40 for a bottle and drink it, you know?
It's really good. It's the only
never pay $40 for a bottle of wine.
No.
Well, the thing is, because I drink like 2 bottles a year, I'm like, if it's really good, I'll try it once. You know what I mean? Like that's why like they say champagne is one of those things that you're not supposed to buy cheap. You really got to spend at least $40 on. And I've done that before. I went to Costco and bought a $40 bottle of champagne. and it was really good. It was so much better than
that's the one
champagne.
that I think makes a huge difference. Like
hookers
Reds,
and champagne.
I think once you get to like $30 on Reds, they all kind of taste the same in my opinion. But
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, champagne's one of the ones where like spending extra money actually does make a difference.
Yep.
Spend that money.
Whereas whiskey, it doesn't make a difference because all whiskey is tolerable. That's it. They do taste different if they're more expensive, but I like it in mixed drinks. That's it. Straight up or like on the rocks. Fuck that. That's I don't like whiskey that much. Anyways,
that's what I have right now. I got a local
look at you little boy. Hey, you know what? Before we get into things, last time you were on, David, you were prepared to move to Seattle. I'm guessing you are now there based on the difference in background. How are things? How's Seattle? How was the move? How are things going?
The move itself was terrible.
Classic.
That's moving. My cat did not like the car, let alone for 20 hours over 2 days. He yelled without stopping for the first 5 hours of the drive.
Yeah,
which was there he is. There's a little guy. But yeah, no, he yelled for like 5 hours straight before he just tired himself out and like lost his voice and he couldn't yell anymore. And then he rested for a while, and then we got to the hotel the first night and he chilled out for a couple hours, and then his voice box recovered at like 4 a.m.
Oh no. Yeah.
And where am I? He began the song anew. So that part was miserable, and then it took him like a month to adapt to the new place, which sucked. And it also took like the maximum amount of time they quoted for my furniture to get here, which also sucked.
Oh, that does suck. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Which I expected, but other than the actual act of moving, it's been pretty great. I've been having a good time. We are getting to the sun doesn't exist and it rains all the time though, so it's getting a little less fun at the moment. But
I heard.
But the good news is there's. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I heard a crazy fact, which is that Maryland gets more rain than Seattle, but Seattle has more rainy days than Maryland. So it's not a lot of rain necessarily. It's just like the amount of rainy days.
Only one of the days has been like what I would call a lot of rain. The rest of the days it's like it's just raining a little bit. It's enough to be annoying and be like, well, I'm not gonna. I would say more than drizzle, but less than like heavy rain.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But it's like it's like raining just a little too much to like go for a hike anyway, or like do anything really outside. But the positive point to all of that is everyone here is used to that. So there's a lot of stuff and groups that do things inside. So it's not like there's a bunch of board game cafes. So it's just like they're all set up for indoor stuff. You can just go have a good time. There's like a bunch of places with like trivia nights and stuff like that. So been having a good time trying some stuff out, meeting a few folks. It's been fun.
Yeah. That's like my mind immediately went to like, if it rained a lot where I was, that means I could get into rain gear and I could be like, ooh, I need a nice rain jacket and some nice wellies, and a nice umbrella. Yeah. Whereas right now I have a rain jacket and I just never use it because if it's raining, I don't go outside. But if I had to, I could really get into some like rain fashion. You know what I mean?
I do need to get a rain jacket because I just don't own one. I lived in SoCal for the past 10 years. I did not need a raincoat.
Trash bag it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say they must, they plan on the rainy days, but then they have a sunny date and just in case the day before is really sunny. It's like, if it is sunny the day before, make sure to go then. But the regular day is the rainy day.
That's fine. I thought you were going to say the opposite, which is like, we want it to rain when we have outdoor events. So if it's sunny, here's our rain date, which means it's so dumb.
That is stupid. Who read Extra Life here? You, Ian? We did Extra Life?
I did, yeah. We're in the good liminal space in a way where we just finished our Extra Life. Save Data's got their Extra Life this weekend, and I'll give you guys space to plug that. But I wanted to talk with Will real quick about our Extra Life, which happened this week, and I think we raised $1,715.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a little bit on stream. As soon as we get past like $100, I'm happy, right? Like as soon as we get past $100, I'm like successful fundraiser. Because if it's $100 or less, I'm like, why did we even do the effort? Like nobody showed up, nobody supported us. But I'm super happy. We had a lot of fun. Thank you guys, everybody who donated, everybody who watched, everybody who shared, everybody who even just looked at an Extra Life post. It helped us out in some way. So that $1,715 is you can take credit for that as well. We all raised that together. Will, how do you feel like Extra Life went? First time we've done remote since 2022.
Yeah, 21 or 22. 21.
21, yes, because 2, 3, 4 were here. Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
6, 7.
I didn't even mean to do that. I think it went really well. It was fun to do a lot of things we couldn't do remote. Like things we couldn't do normally when we were doing it at your house. Like we had guests on, we could play co-op games more easily and stuff like that. But I did miss... It was hard to remember how to do it remote. I did miss the like doing something with every ball and like being in the room and being able to do fun things and to like leave the room and put a shirt or a weird suit on or something and then come back.
A lot of in-room gimmicks. Yeah.
But I think it went really well. I was expecting us to raise almost 1,000. Like I wasn't expecting us to do nearly as good as last year. And we got pretty close to hitting over 2,000 again. So
yeah, that was great. So David, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm curious, have you guys ever talked about doing a Save Data Extra Life in person?
Oh man. I think we did talk about it like years and years ago, but honestly, we've not really talked about it since.
Yeah, because you guys would probably have to Airbnb it where you all just gather at a central location.
Yeah, no one has a place big enough to actually host people. There was that brief moment where like Will, you and Chris rented that like space in one of your offices or whatever, and that was when we talked about potentially doing it in person, but ended up not doing it just for cost reasons at the time.
I have an idea. I'm going to say it out loud because there's no obligation to it and nobody watches this anyways. What if we did Save Data Subpixel 48-hour Extra Life in person?
Oh God.
That would be crazy. That would be a crazy crossover.
We're just going to clip that.
48 hours. Oh, man.
Well, we couldn't just do it for 24, because there's so many of us that nobody has to be on stream the whole time.
I don't know what that's like. I've been doing the full 24 for like 7 years, 9 years, something like that.
That's the benefit of having like 4 people or more is like you don't have to do the full the stream has to be 24, but you don't have to do the 24.
I'm glad I slept during ours. I stayed up that 39 eventually hours for when I did the bombathon last month.
That's insane.
And that was a lot. And I did not want to repeat that.
Yeah. I mean, we could do 48's a lot, even not staying up the whole time. You could do a 36, like 8 a.m. Saturday to 8 p.m. Sunday. It's doable.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, folks, next year, the
no, I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising anything. I just realized
in Jacksonville,
between the two
Florida.
of us, we could totally do this because at least on the Subpixel side, we have gotten very, very good at live production, honestly, even compared to much larger websites. So
it's true.
The next challenge of just expanding it would be doable.
Y'all are good enough that the Giant Bomb hires Will to help with theirs. It's a much larger production website.
Well, I give them sexual favors. That's why they brought me. I'm Bubba.
Gives him the old pencil mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's true.
That's what the noobs room was. It wasn't watching the movie. The noobs hole is where Will is.
Will's waiting there to satisfy
I am
any
the
needs.
noobs hole.
Will is he has the noobs hole on him at all times. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Nightmare.
But anyways, David, plug Extra Life because you guys have it coming up for Save Data this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, we're starting this coming Saturday at, I want to say 1 p.m. Eastern is when we start. Got a bunch of late risers there on the East Coast, so we start pretty late. Works for me though, because I don't have to wake up early. I just wake up at my normal time.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We're starting at 1 p.m. We've got a ton of produced shows as well as like game stuff going on. We've got a few different Jeopardies. We've got a Price is Right, but for video game items. We've got Pico Park 2. I don't know if you all have played that with a group of people,
Pico
but
Park?
that is, it is probably the best multiplayer puzzle game that exists if you want to hate your friends and have fun.
Yeah, I think that game would tear Subpixel
do.
apart.
Would it though? Because
I mean,
we have a lot of.
By the end of it, we typically
caused
want to
by me.
murder Wes. Everyone else is fine. Wes, we want to kill every time. One of these days, Bridge is going to kill Wes.
Is it because of like incompetence or like willful negligence?
Sabotage. Sabotage.
Good for him.
It's because of
Good
sabotage. But Pico Park's great. Highly recommend. The more people you have, the more chaos it is too, which is super fun. And some of the levels are just hard too. So it's just like work with each, and like some of them are hard because everyone has to do their part without fucking up.
Oh yeah.
And so you've got the more people you have, exponentially harder that becomes because there's so many more opportunities for someone to mess up.
Nice.
So it becomes pretty fun. But yeah, that's a huge fun time. During the hell hours, we always have some fun stuff. Jason's gonna probably play Pokemon Stadium blindfolded again.
Jason,
nice.
Makes me happy
because he is a savant. That's always entertaining every time.
I'm curious. Do you guys have an ultimate unlock? Like ours is, if we hit $10,000, then we all get a Subpixel tattoo. Do you guys have something crazy like?
We don't have a crazy high one like that. Let me look to make sure I don't say the one that is a stretch goal first.
Is that real?
So Will, we've not talked about this. Let me just talk about it publicly before we talk about it with the team, because that's the way we do it here, which is we talk about how $10,000 is the Subpixel tattoo goal. But part of me wants to be like, hey, that's cumulative because we're at like $8,000 total for all our extra lives now. We're close.
Cumulative.
We're close.
Shut the fuck up.
It would be nice to be able to say, I got this tattoo because I raised $10,000 for charity.
Listen, I already had a lot of people questioning my nails. Cool. So
I got jealous. I was like,
no, they looked really good.
My nails done.
It's funny. I picked up all that stuff from Micro Center, and the guy complimented my mustache, not my nails.
He was like, "You offer any ride? You offer any mustache rides?"
Yeah, I know. I give so many mustache rides.
Hey, sweet dick duster. Sorry, I have a lot of sexual euphemisms from mustaches that I picked up from my sister, who's in the Navy.
God.
I grew a mustache one time, and she was just throwing mustache euphemisms at me constantly.
Nice. The top two we have on there, we have some stretch goals that we won't reveal unless we like hit these ones. But for 3,500, when we reach that, and there's goals before this, I'm not going to read every single one. At 3,500, we will play at the end of Extra Life, Keep Talking and Nobody Eats Peppers, where we all eat like ghost pepper type stuff and try to play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Nice.
So that will be chaos and terrible. And then at 4,000. This mostly came from discussions on Discord, but we will put together a save data zine of some sort, like a magazine.
That's not like printed, fun because
like
I would love to contribute to that because that sounds.
And that's
like
the idea is like anyone who wants to contribute can, and we'll just put it together and make it work.
And you have a lot of writers in your community. We've got a couple in ours, but I found out recently like Save Data Community Discord is doing like a big writing drive for the rest of the month, and they've got a group that are working together to like catalog their word count, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm super behind. I've been busy the past week doing stuff, so fine. I haven't been doing anything.
Like how could you write that many words of Ace Attorney fanfic? Like you've got to run out of ideas at some point.
I mean,
right now Jake's way ahead of everyone else.
Well, I mean,
really?
Speaking of talking about things without discussing with the team, but December for Subpixel, we're tracking our orgasms. So we're gonna really try.
Yeah, I'm way in the lead, baby. That's why I'm wearing a tank top. I'm gonna get free sleeve motion. You know?
Yeah, he's getting his practice in, but it's gonna be in liters. So look forward to that.
Got to stretch.
Liters. Take your zinc pills, folks. Get those.
Eat the bananas.
Eat the bananas. Speaking about loads and bananas, video games. We've been playing them. I'll play the little video game music. It's pretty good music. I've been playing video games this week. A miraculous thing, David. I don't know if you know about this, but we did Extra Life this weekend, and it was the final nail in the coffin for my CPU, my i7 10700K.
I heard it was having issues. I didn't know.
It's been giving me issues since I've owned it, probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. It was weird because if I had to guess, Will, it was probably working at like 50-60% capacity, which is enough for it to be usable and to think everything else was the issue until you realize, oh, I just have a bad CPU. You know? Yeah,
I've replaced motherboards, I've replaced RAM. Fandom bought me a 4070 Ti, and still nothing until this weekend when I think I just knew this whole time, and then I needed a sweet man's voice to tell me that it's the CPU, and
it was me.
Oh,
my voice.
It was his voice, his wonderful voice. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I just picked up some clients for freelance editing. Might as well put money back into my computer. So I bought a Ryzen 9900X. I bought a new motherboard, and I bought 2 sticks of stupid DDR5. Which, Ian, to stroke your little ego penis some more, you were also right about the memory. I can only put 2 of those sticks in my computer. I need dual channel to do 4.
If it has 4 slots, and it turns out if you use 4 sticks of RAM and 4 slots, it makes all of them slower, which is fucking infuriating.
So
if you use quad channel?
Yeah, no, with my motherboard, the specific ones I bought, I can only do two of them. I can't put 4 of them into my computer.
Yeah. Most motherboards nowadays, they have 4 DDR5 slots, but they don't have enough PCIe channels going to the memories. So if you put 4 sticks of memory in there, it caps your speed at like 2,000 or 3,000. So you have to use 2 sticks to get the full speed through, which is dumb as shit. Basically, it's the same thing I ran into like 2 or 3 years ago.
So I put that all in my computer.
Is that true for quad channel, or are you talking 4 times dual channel?
I'm not sure.
That makes sense for dual channel. Yeah.
I just know when I had the problem, the only way to get around that was to buy like a $900 motherboard, because those were the only motherboards that were giving you full speed to all 4 slots.
Mine was a thing put out by MSI was like, hey, if you bought this specific RAM, you can only put 2 sticks in. Putting 4 sticks doesn't do anything. And then it was like, these ones, they had a neat little infographic. It was like, all these ones, they check mark if it's for 1, 2, or 4, because you can't put 3 sticks in.
Oh, okay.
So they had all those.
Some of them you can do 4.
And most of all 4 ones were $2,000 for all 4 sticks. It was crazy.
Dumb.
I was like,
no thank you to
no
that.
Thank you. So that means I have a computer that works now, and turns out for 4 years of not having a computer you think is good at PC gaming but isn't actually PC gaming, makes you question your sanity. And now this computer is good for PC gaming, surprisingly, which is wild, because I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is a game put out by Warhorse Studios. In a past life, I went to Warhorse Studios and filmed them a bunch, and I recognized some names when the credits were going by, which is cool. Nice. Especially my hero, Dan Vavra. I'm just kidding. The controversial figure.
He's my I'm not a big fan of his work, but his opinions, though. 100%.
Yeah, I'm more of an opinions guy. No, so Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I played maybe... I actually think I backed the Kickstarter for Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, and I played maybe 10 hours of it, because they were talking about story stuff that I remember from it, but I never finished it because it was before I was into more European RPGs like Stalker and Elix and like those Gothic and those types. So I kind of gave up because I was like, why isn't this smooth like my Call of Duties or my, I don't know, Bethesda RPGs, which I guess were a little bit smoother. So I never finished it. I remember there was a hunting section that was really annoying. But so far, Ian, we talked about this last week with Outer Worlds 2, where like there just needs to be the next step in the evolution of those types of games. And I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is very much on its way to that next step.
I agree, because I have played the first hour of this game, and there were 2 things that struck out with me. three things that stuck with me. Number one was this game is very confident in what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to explain that, but it's like, we know we're doing something a little bit different, which is kind of like medieval frat in a way, because it's a medieval setting in Czechia, but it's also like a little bit more of a modern frat mentality, not to an extreme like chaotic comedic extent, but they're not trying to be super serious historical with it. So it felt very confident in that. The other thing is that it feels very polished. Like it feels very cinematic, and it's got a lot of systems, and the systems are working. And the other thing is that it just feels very comprehensive in its vision. And what I mean by that is that the UI has like a certain medieval flair to it. The systems have a certain medieval flair to it. Within the first 45 minutes, you're already being introduced to kind of like a political drama and people in the court and how they interact with each other, and how there's kind of political chaos and a political vacuum within the region. And between those three things, I was like, wow, this immediately feels a lot better than the first one, because the first one had all three of those things, but they were kind of unsure about it. And it had some weirdness. Whereas this first one in the first 45, 60 minutes was just like, nah, it's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We've got these systems. They're working really cool. We're going to tell you about it, and we're going to start telling this story in a cinematic fashion. So yeah, I agree with you. I was kind of blown away by how AAA, but also a little bit forward thinking this is. Like, it's not a full revolutionary step, but it is more. It's not just a cookie cutter copy paste of what a majority of AAA, open world games are doing.
Yeah, it's getting there. There's there's like a cold open, which is cool because you're like defending a castle that's being attacked. You get some crossbow stuff. You don't know any of these characters really. You may recognize the guy from the first game, and like they're calling each other different names and stuff. So you're like, what is going on? Like, did I miss something? And then it cuts back, and then there's this whole intro section before it kind of finally dumps you into the main world. And so I've been in the main world for like, I think that whole intro sequence and everything maybe takes 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's not super long, but once it spits you out in the main game, you're in this town of Troitskia, I think.
Yeah.
And I immediately stole something and had to sit in a pillory for 4 days while people threw fruit at me. And then I had no money, so I picked a bunch of herbs, and then I sold all those herbs, and then I made a bunch of potions, and then sold those potions. And then I tried to leave the town. There was this guy on the way out who's like, hey, you want to play dice? And I'm like, yeah, I'll play dice with you. And so we're playing the dice game, which is really fun. It's like a type of, it must be a real game, but it's also like, it's like what pre-Yahtzee. So you're like holding the dice, but you can only hold the dice and roll again if you are able to score that round and all this sort of stuff. So I'm playing with him, and then I hear like, hey, you bastard. And then some guy slashes his sword at me, knocks me out of the dice game, murders the guy I'm playing with, and then I'm fighting him, and then he kills me. And then I respawn back in the town, reload. And the one thing I don't like about this game is it has a terrible save system. And I understand why they do it, but I had to then redo that whole sequence I just described to you 4 times, I want to say, before I decided I shouldn't leave this town because I'm going to die, which is the right answer. I had more stuff to do there. But yeah, the save system, you can save and quit whenever you want, which is great. You save anytime you use a bed. There are places that are like your bed that you can get. And then if you want to save anywhere else in the game, you have to have the save schnapps potion, which they do teach you how to make. But just that layer of making the potion and having the save schnapps is kind of annoying. I understand why they did it. They did it in the first game. It makes it much more immersive and fun. There's mods to get rid of it. But yeah, that's kind of a little frustrating. But this game also does the other thing that I like, which is you're leveling up your skills by doing your skills. And I like that a lot. That's what Oblivion does.
I love that so much in games. Red Orchestra 2 does that. The more you use your gun, your stats for the gun reload speed. It
feels so good when you're picking plants and then you're like, your survival skill went up. Also, there's huge, every one of your main abilities has a perks that you can choose from, and then every one of your like sub abilities all have perks you can choose from, and then all of your combat abilities have perks you can choose from. And every time you level up one of those things, so you get perk points at a different rate than you're able to get perks, I've noticed sometimes. And you, even if you have available perk points, you can't get perks. You have to wait until you've leveled up to earn a perk in that system. And I kind of like that, because it even in Outer Worlds 2, I felt overwhelmed by the amount of perks that were available at the beginning, and like felt there was no like pathway for what these things are. Where in this game, I can be like, hey, some of these perks look neat, some of these I haven't discovered, but I want to like level up the skill to get these perks. I want to sell, like if I get my alchemy up, I can sell things at 30% more and stuff like that. And I seem to be more paying attention to it. And then currently I'm just, I'm on the trail walking around, interacting with NPCs is really fun. I was talking about Outer Worlds 2 last week, where it's like, I'm at the stage where I'm just reading the text quickly and buttoning through it. Where like in this game,
that's fair.
Yeah. But you know, in like a Bethesda game, you're just like, you always read it faster. And then you
as long as you're not skipping it. I was about to say, as long as you're not skipping it, it's okay to read fast and
but
skip
in
the
this game, I'm not. Yeah. I'm like, the performances are really good. A lot of it's mocapped faces and animated stuff. It's so cool just to see the way people talk and react to you. The reaction system and stuff like that isn't perfect. There's been a couple situations where I've like done something and then I just went down one path of the tree and then I went down the other and the character reacted like we had just started talking again. But those are, I don't know, those aren't immersive breaking or anything. It's just like, oh, I see what's going on here. But it really does, to that extent, feel like I've been dropped into medieval Westworld, where it's like I can kind of do whatever I want and nothing seems to matter. Like I can go hunt stuff for a while or fight people or just rob people. It's really cool. I'm digging it. I'm like, I think 7 or 8 hours in, and it's been a fun time. There was a couple other things I wanted to talk about with it, but I don't remember what they were. Any final thoughts for it, Ian?
I'm not sure I'm going to continue playing it, just because same problem I had with Outer Worlds 2. I don't think I'm in the mood for one of these games right now, where it's like explore and talk to people and do stuff. And the problem is I'm in one of those video game doldrums. I don't know if you guys have this, where you're just like, oh yeah, I'd like to play a game, and then you're like, I don't fucking know what I want to play, and you try a couple games and you're just like, you know, that's where I'm at right now. So I haven't found my game yet. That's not true. It's all trains right now. That's the problem. But I haven't found a new train game.
Oh, those 2003 and 2004's Densha to Go PS2 games just hit abandonware, and they have English patches.
We talked about this well.
Oh,
I
you
don't like driving trains.
You're right.
Driving trains are for fucking wage slaves, okay? Making train routes and transporting cargo and people like cattle and optimizing your throughput. That's where the real shit is.
He wants his World War II train sim.
I'm sorry if I'm going off, but could you guess, if you had to say what is the alcohol content of this Chardonnay, what would you say? It's Chardonnay, it's just a white wine.
5%.
I mean, whites are usually like 12 to 16.
David's right. It's 13.5, which is much higher than I was expecting. I drink half of it,
most
and
whites
I am feeling it. I apologize. I'm going to be extra white tonight. Yeah. But yeah, it does seem like a great game. I feel like we both had the same thing, which is, if I may speak for you, Will, we weren't sure what game to play next. And then the Game Award nominees came out and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was on there. And I'm going to say it flat out. That game is an underdog just because of the amount of like hatred that game gets because of a certain person who's worked on the game's political opinions. And I don't know how to feel about that, but it does feel like that game did not get quite the level of coverage by default that it should have as that level of game.
I thought it got a lot earlier this year.
It did.
More than the first one for sure.
I heard a ton of really good things about KCD2.
But there are unfortunately still outlets out there who are like, we are not going to cover this game. We're not going to discuss this game because we don't agree with somebody who works on the game having said XYZ on it. And
I mean, I wouldn't call one of the like directors just someone who works on the game.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. But it's, to see it have like that kind of underdog treatment in the industry and still get a Game Awards nominee when those nominations come from the same outlets that are kind of, you know, campaigning against it in a way, told me like, oh, hey, there's probably something here I should try.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, part of me wants to try it, but like I feel like the common through point of like all the games I've played this year that people are like, this game's great, is just like tons of really annoying friction points. And like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 I know has those. Like it has the save schnapps. Sure, you can mod them out. Like Silk Song had the horrible runbacks that I did mod out, and it made me actually enjoy the game instead of putting it down.
Good for you.
But I feel like pretty much all the big ones that people love this year, like there's a thing about them that grated me so much that I'm like, man, I almost didn't finish this game.
Yeah.
Did you like Expeditions?
I haven't finished Expedition 33. I got to Act 3 and I fell off because there was so much. That one was a different thing of like, it wasn't so much the there was like a friction point as like I hit Act 3 and they're like, here's a bajillion things to do, and I kind of just got overwhelmed and was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what's the right thing for what level my party is at, and I don't want to go die to 16 different things to figure that out. So I'll come back to this, and then I just haven't gone back to it to finish it. So I'm before the year ends, I'll go back and just I'm just gonna critical path the rest of the game. But
I'm curious, David, to hear your reaction to this, because I had a little bit of a controversial comment in the Subpixel community Discord, which was when the Game Award nominees came out, I said, hey, it feels like a bit of a lackluster year. And then I qualified it by saying a lot of the quote unquote good games are just sequels where it's like more of the same, but better. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of 10 out of 10 like complete standouts like we've had in the last 3 or 4 years. So it's not like it's a bad year for gaming, but we're just really lacking in those like 10 out of 10 knock it out of the park revolutionary games.
I don't think that's been true the past few years. Like we've had 10 out of 10 games, but I don't think they might have been new franchises, but I don't think they were revolutionary for the most part. I was more the Game Awards are going to be boring this year because Expedition 33 is going to win everything. And like the same 3 games, like Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Silk Song, I'm like, they're gonna take everything, no one else is gonna get shit, and it's gonna be kind of boring.
I think for me personally,
and like Yote's in there a lot, and I didn't really like Yote that much.
Yote was good, but it was just more of the same, but a little bit better, and that's
a good point.
Everything I don't actually. I think Yote get a lot of things worse than Tsushima, but
oh really?
I mean, from like the artistic and character, like main character side, I think it's much better than Tsushima. But like, I thought the weapon system was kind of clunky compared to the stance system of the first game.
Yeah, you have to change weapons versus changing stances.
It slowed down your transitions, which I did not find joy in. And I thought all the weapons felt the same, whereas it didn't matter if the stances felt kind of the same because it was all the swords. Whereas when all the weapons feel the same, it's like, well, I have 5 different weapons, and the only one that really feels different is the Odachi. And that's because people just can't block it.
I wasn't sure how I felt about the areas, because in Tsushima it's like it's 3 islands, so you are progressing to the next island, whereas in Yote it's like, hey, you can go to any of these different areas out of order, but they're distinct in their own way. And I'm not sure which one I prefer, and I think I do kind of prefer Tsushima's sense of like progression through the islands, even if the islands themselves weren't as cool as the areas in Yote.
There's a lot of open world games that I feel like they, and I haven't nailed down what it is that makes me feel this way. So don't ask this question. But there's a lot of open world games that do the non-linear path. And I feel like because they have to account for all the non-linearity of those paths, it ends up watering down what that experience is on each path, because it essentially adds more work. And unless you put in that extra work to make it good, which most studios don't, just because timelines don't exist and it is expensive to do. It just feels like, if you'd just put this in order so that you can be more self-referential and be more like growing the character and growing the plot, this would feel better.
It feels like the sweet spot was what Fallout New Vegas did, which is it is an open world, but because of the way they place the enemies and the leveling and everything, everybody pretty much went the same path, which is like you got to go south and then you turn and come back north and then eventually get to New Vegas. Because if you just go north from the start, even though it's an open world, you're going to get wrecked. So that felt like the sweet spot where it's like, hey, we're not limiting your pathway, but the way that we've designed the game, it's going to
they are limiting your pathway. They're just doing it with death claws instead of a quest line.
Yes. As opposed to an invisible wall. Yeah. But that's what I mean by like sweet spot, where it's like I didn't feel bad about being railroaded in Fallout New Vegas, Yeah,
it more of hurted you rather than hindered you. Like you weren't like, oh, I can't get this way, and I want to go that way.
I love the New Vegas one because they were just like, it felt like we didn't want to put an invisible wall because that feels bad. So instead, we just put a bunch of death claws who are going to kill you in the same way a death claw would. So
I guess I more mean like if you wanted to, you could find a way through that. Where you couldn't find a way through a invisible wall, at least not cheating wise. But yeah, KCD2, that's what we were talking about, right? Is really good, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to be playing a lot more. I honestly, at this point, I don't know if I'm going to go back to Outer Worlds 2. Maybe eventually, but
I thought you finished it.
No, I didn't. I'm close, I think. I'm on like a side mission right now. And I think if I stopped all the side missions, I could beat the game, but I don't know. I'm
Hey, no pressure. You don't have to, right? There's so many video games now you don't have to finish.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
I have so many video games I want to
too.
finish.
I have it on pause. I feel like I played it when I played Avowed earlier this year, and
I already did Avowed this year.
And Avowed was better.
And I like there's part of me
story-wise felt better.
I'd rather go pick back up in Metaphor than play more Outer Worlds 2.
Shut up. You still haven't.
I have. I actually have.
Keep bringing that up.
I played it this week or 2 weeks ago. I played like another hour.
On the list?
It was an off week. List. I don't talk about all the games I play in a week. This list would be way too long. Do you want me to talk about every Extra Life game?
Big gamer over here.
Big game. I play a lot of big games. I don't know if you know this. The other games on here is Armored Reforger. We played that on the stream on Tuesday. Great game. Still feels good.
Get back in there.
Runs great on my new computer. And looks good. And it's super fun. And then this last one, I definitely remember. And I'm not stalling for time. Because it starts with an M. And that M could only mean...
Is it Mass Effect?
No, it's not Mirror's Edge either. It is, in fact... Let me click on Steam to see what it was. I really can't remember what it was.
Hey, if you can't remember,
it was just crazy.
You have an acronym as your hint, and you can't even remember. It's probably not worth talking
Metaphor
about.
E Fantasio. No.
That's the Italian version.
I literally could not tell you what it is. But there is another game I've been playing, which is Karen and I graduated from the Supermarket Simulator on Xbox Game Pass to Grocery Store Simulator on Steam.
Okay.
It is
better or worse.
It's better in all the ways I care, but it's worse in some of the convenient ways. I think it's a better simulation, more fun and a little bit more goofy. But the other game had a scanner that you could go around and scan the price tags to do your order for the day, and I thought that was really neat.
That's fancy.
But I actually prefer Grocery Store Simulator because you get a forklift that you can drive all around the place. You can hire employees who hate themselves. And
there's no other type of grocery store employee.
And you're open 24/7.
You sounded too happy about that. You're like, I'm driving them to suicide because I'm paying them so low, saving so much money.
Am I even paying them? Who knows? It's just fun, and Karen will come home from work. She's like, "Hey, you want to work a shift after dinner?" And we're like, "Yeah, okay." And then we'll hop on and make love in the storeroom while our employees work.
Jesus, that's an OSHA violation.
No, actually it's not. Because we're paying off the OSHA violator by giving
as long as you finish.
As long as you finish.
It counts as recruitment.
David, I want to hear about
new employees.
I want to hear about your game more than I want to hear about Ian's games. So tell me about them.
Damn, get him. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of one game, and that's Battlefield 6. Since launch, I've been playing that at least a few nights a week, sometimes more. I will sometimes hop over to my home PC and play it for all of one match during lunch breaks. It's great.
Wow.
I'm having such a good time with it. I'm not really like playing a ton of the different modes. I'm mostly sticking to like the traditional conquest type stuff. But I've dallied here and there into some of the new stuff. They've got a new map just launched this week, as well as like a new mode that's kind of, it's like a Battlefield take on CS, I would kind of say. It's not exactly that, but essentially you've got like defenders have breakable equipment crates at a couple points, and the attackers are getting in and trying to break it. So like the defenders are usually killing way more people, and the attackers are usually like doing way more like environmental damage to try and break stuff. So that was pretty fun. That one's a smaller mode. It's 8v8, so if you get shit teammates, you lose. Whereas in the big modes, if you get a few shit teammates, it's fine.
Balance.
But I'm having a ton of fun. So far, they've been addressing feedback like super quickly.
Really?
They sort of broke medic defib with the latest patch, and like within 24 hours, they had that stuff fixed. So they've just been really good with the feedback. They've been really good with getting content out. I think the only thing that's not quite up to snuff for me is just the maps in general. I feel they have enough of them. They're just not like quality wise quite there for all of them. There's a few where I'm just like, man, this one particular point just sucks. Everyone hates this one point on this one map. No one wants to be there. A few places where it's just like people can get on top of a building, and it's just like, okay, getting rid of those people, like you need a attack helicopter to get rid of them, because you're not going to do it as infantry. You're not going to be able to get up there and kill them. You're just going to die on your way up. So there's some stuff like that, but man, having not really dug into a Battlefield game since Bad Company 2, it's incredible how much the people who play the game are not different after more than a decade. Of like, yeah, there's still a ton of medics who just don't revive you. Standing right next to your corpse, they've got their defib and they're just not paying attention.
They're busy. They're very busy. They have busy lives. Can't be reviving people.
You've got that. You got the recon people who are terrible snipers and useless all the time. That's like some things never change. 20 years of me playing Battlefield later.
I was thinking about the medical system, and because I had that same problem in the beta where it was like I would die and it was just like nobody's touching me. But at the same time, you can just press a button and respawn pretty quickly. So it's one of those things where the system is broken, and I don't want it to turn into Armor Reforger. But in Armor Reforger, when you're playing with online randoms, you want to heal people and you want to be healed by people, because a respawn means like 10 minutes of running because you're so far behind enemy lines. And I don't want Battlefield to turn into that.
Medics are good for that. Like, if you have a team with good medics, like your odds of winning drastically improve.
It's just weird that they're like, I understand healing is always beneficial in a Battlefield game. They have revives in a Battlefield game, and it never feels like they actually made it worthwhile to either do the revives or to wait to be revived.
I don't agree with that. I do feel like
the community would do it more often if they actually implemented it.
Oh no, people just suck.
That's my point.
People just suck. That's
yeah.
People are just bad at the game is the main thing.
To be granted, it's a very difficult game design problem, but you could solve it. And I feel like Battlefield has just said like, oh, we have that mechanic. We don't care how people use it.
It's
so we're not going to solve the problem.
Game where if you want to be a good medic, you have to stop shooting for a bit, which is just like inherently counter to what you go to play the game for. And a lot of those people will just go play assault, and then you don't see that they're a medic, and it's not a big deal. But some of them play medic, and oftentimes I think the thing that breaks it a little bit is they do like daily challenges and weekly challenges and like battle pass challenges that are like, hey, go play this class, get kills with this specific gun type of thing. So you'll get a lot of people that are playing medic because their daily was score as medic or kill 10 people with a light machine gun, who don't really play medic. They're getting it for the point, and as soon as they get those 10 kills, they're getting off that class as soon as physically possible. So there's a mix, and like I think there's benefits and downsides to it. Like the benefits is it's getting people to try new classes. It gets me to play recon, which I typically hate more and more. And I'm finding myself to actually kind of like sniping sometimes in this game. And having some of those like classic Battlefield moments where it's like, oh, I sniped some dude out of a helicopter canopy. I feel like a god.
And then you die.
And then I die immediately. Or the helicopter lands on me that I shot the pilot out of.
Meant to do it.
But I'm having a great time with it, either playing with friends or I play a ton just solo, and I have fun regardless. I do also get heated at the same time, but it's still fun. So great time. Looking forward to whatever they keep doing, because one thing with the Battlefield games too is like I think every single one essentially does get better with time and updates. That's a pretty big constant. Even 2042 is way better than it was at launch. Granted, that game was a trash fire at launch and is now playable, but like if they keep at 6 like they did 2042, and I imagine they will, because I saw an IGN story today that was like it's the biggest selling game of the last 3 years, or fastest selling of the last 3 years.
Damn.
So that one was like COD Modern Warfare 2 or something, the more recent one. So like it's selling COD numbers. I'm sure they're going to keep up with it and keep updating it to try and keep that momentum. So I'm excited. I'm gonna keep playing it. I don't see me slowing down anytime soon.
Cool. I'm excited for it to hit EA Play lower tier so that I can play it as part of Game Pass, because I just don't feel like buying it.
Just buy it. It's a good ass game.
Buddy, I'm unemployed. Also,
no, that's fair.
I'm curious to hear your take on this, because Will and I were talking about it and we're like, yeah, Battlefield 6 beta felt good, but there are like a half dozen of those good feeling Battlefield type games all over Game Pass and EA Play and Battlefront 2, the old one and the new one, you know.
Oh, yeah, but those don't have the population of people playing them.
They've got enough. They've got enough. That's the thing.
Not right now. They're all playing Battlefield 6.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where it was like I could play this game, but it feels like the same as all these 5 other games, and I already have access to those 5 other games. Why pay $70? Is this a $70 game?
It's 60 or 70. I forget which one.
Oh, okay. But it's like, why pay that much for this when it's not a revolution. It's just the latest iteration of these other games. You know, that was kind of the struggle.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like the Battlefield hasn't felt like this since 4. And I do think this feels better than 4.
But we've got 4 in Game Pass though. That's the problem.
Yeah. But people aren't playing 4.
There's
like, that's just right now. I don't know that there is.
I just need one server full of people and that's it. And I'm good.
Then you're playing with people who've been playing Battlefield 4 nonstop for the past 10 years, and
that's true.
Yeah,
it's a completely different experience. Like everyone that you're playing with now is at the same. You know, they're all getting into it. And the longer you wait, the more behind you are when you finally go across the threshold.
You know, I'm just gonna fire up. Battlefield Vietnam, full of bots. I'm gonna fly around in my helicopter. I'm gonna have fun. That's what I'm gonna do.
Good. Hit that one tree.
Other game that I've been playing that I specifically want to share with you two is a game called Ooh.
Ooh.
It's capital O with an umlaut and then 2 lowercase O's. This is a small. No, it's about a caterpillar. The name of the game is just the shape of the caterpillar. That's why it's called that. So Ooh is a game from the guy who made Electhead. I don't know if you remember that 2D like puzzle platformer from a few years ago.
No.
But this is a 2D puzzle platformer. It's about 2 hours long. And essentially you play this little caterpillar, you get 8 right at the beginning, and you're trying to puzzle platform your way through the bird. that ate you to get out alive.
That's cool.
And your little segments in the caterpillar, you can't jump. You can only move left and right. But the little segments of your caterpillar can act as bombs. So like you put a segment down, you can explode it to go up or to the side or wherever, or like open pathways and all that jazz. And the entire game, in my opinion, is just an utter masterclass of game design from front to back. It's 2 hours because those 2 hours are perfect. Like everything is so perfectly laid out. It's one of those games where you can do everything that the game teaches you over those 2 hours in the first 5 minutes if you knew how. Like it's like a game where that's not entirely true. You couldn't beat the game in the first 5 minutes. You have to unlock it one thing.
It's almost like a tunic where you could like just do the one. It's like almost knowledge based sort of.
Like a tunic or Outer Wilds where a lot of it's just entirely knowledge based, but they're a lot more upfront with teaching you what that stuff is. Like so over the 2 hours, it's kind of just like you go into a section, you're like, how do I get past this? Well, let me go this other way that I know that doesn't have that puzzle I can't figure out, and then you just go through that way, and they teach you all the stuff you need to then go figure out the stuff at the beginning of the section and get to the next section. And it was so good. This might be my game of the year.
Wow.
I absolutely love this little game and this little caterpillar. It's one of those ones where I played it and I was like, did I just play a perfect video game? Is like, is that real? Did I just do that? It's so good.
We'll have to put it on our list to try.
Puzzles were like the perfect level of difficulty, where there were 2 or 3 that were real stumpers, and I probably spent like 10-15 minutes trying to figure out just those 2 or 3. But the rest were generally a few tries. Then I'm like, oh, this is what it's trying to teach me. And there's some little hints and stuff in the world. If you're paying close attention to the design of the stuff around you, there's little things kind of hinting towards what you need to do, but they're very subtle.
Yeah, this is very cool. I'm gonna check this out.
Just so good. Such a good game.
It's on my wish list.
Did you play this on your Steam Deck?
Yes, plays great on Steam Deck. Played the whole thing on Steam Deck.
I'll do that. That's wild. That's
yeah.
Very cool.
It's like 2 hours too. It's a quick one, just one sitting.
Love it.
In fact, I recommend doing it in one sitting, because if you do what I did and start it right before you go to bed and you're like, oh shit, I can't finish this, I need to sleep, and you stop midway through a puzzle, when you get back the next day you're like, how did I do this? How did I get to where I am currently?
What's the name of this game?
No, oh god. Ooh. You just type 3 O's in Steam, you'll get it.
No,
I thought you were going to tell us about your last game on your list, David, because I'm tempted. Yes. I'm tempted, but I've never played one of these before, so I'm not sure.
Oh. So last game on my list is Europa Universalis 5, the latest in the grand strategy games that require basically going through tutorials of other people before the game is playable. I'm having a good time with it. It's one of those games where like it's probably going to take 100 hours for me to actually understand how the game works, because it is menus the video game. You start as a country and
you end as a nation.
You're kind of you're the spirit of the country, and like there's depending on the country you pick, there's a monarchistic line that you go through, and you're controlling all the stuff in the towns. The new stuff for this one is because you control. I'll go through stuff. Oh, no. You control sort of what laws pass. You control the amount of manpower, the armies, the navies, the economy. You control how trade works in your country. You can control diplomacy with other countries. You control like making vassals or fiefdoms, war, peace, all this stuff. It's crazy. It's not a total war where like you have a big map and then like you go into individual battles. No, there is just a big map, all big map. Mm-hmm. It takes place in real time. So you have basically control of how fast the game is going. And when you're in wartime, you're going to slow it down. When you're in peacetime, you're going to speed it up, how quickly stuff is going.
Yeah.
But at the lowest level, you can see individual hours passing, and this game starts in like 1337 and goes to like the 1600s or something.
Damn.
So it's a long one, but every country has like a bunch of unique stuff. There's unique events per country and also in the world. I played as Castile. I'm restarting as a different country, just a new country, because essentially the first few times you play this game, you're scuffed. Like you're gonna fuck up and be miserable, and then eventually you'll figure stuff out.
It's Dwarf Fortress. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the beginning of my Castile playthrough, like a few years in, Black Plague happened and I was not prepared for that. Did not successfully deal with that and lost probably 60% of my population, which has a bunch of rippling effects throughout all the systems, and every system interacts with another system. It's crazy. Like newest stuff for this game is they really went in deep on towns and cities and rural areas as to the like population of your country and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So not only do you just build buildings and then workers staff them, you have like 8 different levels of workers that you have to figure out and deal with. So you can build like Castile has like peasants, laborers, sort of a middle class type of thing, not blue collar for the 1300s type of worker, like artisans and stuff like that. They have like clerics and nobles, so they've got like 5, and there's a couple others where if you're in different areas, there's like also slaves, there's also like tribes people, so like natives to the area if you're like colonizing and stuff like that. And all of them have different buildings with different effects that use different pools of laborers, and like for most of the European countries, your peasants will slowly promote to the other classes as you build job opportunities, essentially. And it's just like crazy trying to juggle, like, okay, I've got this town. Do I want to make it more of a city and build a bunch of stuff and move people into the city and give them like artisanal jobs? Do I want to keep it rural and build more like farms and keep the peasant population there? You can fuck with migration to try and get people to move into cities versus move out to the rural areas. Okay. What screwed me over with my Castile Black Death thing was I was having everyone go to the cities to work the jobs that made me way more money, and then the Black Death came and everyone's like, cities are a death trap, and so they all went to the countryside, and all of the buildings I built up became useless, and like my economy tanked. But yeah, I'm feel like I'm just scratching the surface of this thing. I feel like I will eventually love it, but right now I'm like, getting bruised and beat up trying to figure out the differences between EU5 and 4, which is the last one I played. Because I think EU4 is my most played game on Steam. I think I have like 500 hours in that game.
Oh, okay. So you're not fresh to the series with EU5.
No, gotcha. I'm not fresh to the series. And it is like even coming from 4, like I'm finding videos online explaining shit so that I don't have to spend 80 hours getting my teeth kicked in by the game. Like, because I wasn't super getting, there's this whole control system that they added too, where like distance to your capital always mattered in EU, but in this game in particular, it matters way more. So there's like a bunch of, and Paradox understands this because they are sponsoring a bunch of these videos to get made and are making some themselves, of just like explaining how the control system works and how building roads is important, how, in the previous game, you'd kind of just gobble up all these areas and integrate them into your country. And they're like, this one, it's probably a better idea to create vassals and fiefdoms because they get more local control and you can just take their money. And you don't have to deal with control as much. And then there's religion, there's cultures, there's languages. All of this stuff plays a role into everything. Everything's related. It's crazy how much the stats and information in this game cascade, but it's a fun time, but it is a commitment. It's not a game that you're going to go into and play 50 hours even and be like, I love this game. It's like, no, I've played this game for 200 hours and I feel like I'm finally past the tutorial.
What
Wild.
like I feel like I've always wanted to play one of these types of games. I've tried a little bit of Hearts of Iron 4. Like what is the one to get into?
I would say Crusader Kings is probably the one to get into because I think that one has the least amount of like macro stuff going on out of this style Paradox game.
And I assume just go
so
with
I'd
3?
say probably I would say Crusader Kings 3, and I think 3 simplified stuff even more from 2.
I might have to make that a stream series so I actually play it. But I've always wanted to get like because there's like those Victoria ones. There's Stellaris.
I haven't played. I've only really played EU. I know I have a couple friends that have played Crusader Kings, so like my information is coming from them. Like I haven't gotten into it a ton, and I've like looked into Hearts of Iron and just be like, the only reason I haven't gotten into Hearts of Iron is just like I can't afford another one of these games for time. But Stellaris is the other one that I'm interested in getting into because I think that one, from what I've heard, just due to how the space stuff works, it's a little simpler actually than EU because there's less like real history to model all this stuff off of. But yeah, they put in a lot of work. The Paradox games like Battlefield get better with age too. They'll keep adding stuff and tweaking things for 20 years or something. I forget when 4 came out, probably not 20 years ago, but at least like 5 or 10 years they will continue to tweak stuff. They do the terrible model of shitloads of DLC that Paradox always does. But for the most part, you can have a really good time without DLC, even in the Paradox games. Like you don't need to buy them. And frankly, if you're getting into a Paradox game and you've not really played the series before, I would recommend you don't buy DLC because the DLC adds more systems. Just get the base game if you're gonna dive into a Paradox game. Get the base game. Go watch some YouTube videos and then dive in.
Okay. I'll consider it. I got into RTSs this year pretty big with that Rise of Nations I played through, and there's a couple other I dipped my toes into. So
it's way different from an RTS because like
no, I just more meant like I've been getting more into like I already love like a Rim World and Dwarf Fortress and stuff, and especially funny enough like going through Fire Emblem with Jason and Kyle like. Sort of not opened my eyes, but like made me realize about like tactical and I've never been good at strategy and shit like that. So like try to flex that muscle a little bit better. And I think these are my natural next step is to try these games probably next year. There's too much to play this year.
My pro tips for the Paradox style games in general are 1, go find a beginner's guide on YouTube. To just kind of get you started as to like, here are the basics that you should do so that your country doesn't get immediately fucked when you start the game. Yeah. And then 2nd, pretty much always focus on your economy to start with. If you have a lot of money, you can solve most other problems. Unfortunately, it works kind of like the real world in that sense of like, you got money, you'll figure out diplomacy. You got money, you'll figure out the military because you can just hire people.
That reminds me of there's a good 30 Rock quote, which is, money doesn't buy you happiness. It is happiness.
I was going to say that it's mo money, mo problem. So I'm getting mixed messages here.
Not in Paradox games. More money, more stability.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll change that line. Speaking of stability, Ian, you got both hands on those rails. How's it going?
That's right, folks. Hey, have you guys heard about trains? I have continued my slide down that deep, dirty hole of train enthusiasm. These past 2 weeks, I've been playing some more Transport Fever 2. I got about 3 missions from the end of that game and I stopped playing. And it's because we talked previously about the missions in that game and how they do a good job of teaching you history, but the whole thing is kind of just like a slow tutorial where like in this mission, we're going to introduce one single concept. But honestly, I got to this, that kind of bit me in the ass, which is I got to this mission, like 4 missions from the end. And I think there's 18 missions in the game total. And they were like, hey, you need to set up this train network and do this stuff. So I set up this really nice train network. And then they were like, great, you completed the objective. Now we need you to dig a canal from here to here. And it was like right across one of my train lines. And I was like, fuck you. like I played the first part of the mission too good and too optimized that the second part of the mission, which was still holding my hand about digging a canal, like 75% of the game, of the way through the game, they're teaching me how to dig a canal, and I had to do it in a specific location that would have screwed up my train network. But I did load up a sandbox game, which is kind of the main way you're supposed to play the game outside of the campaign, which is just like, here's a map. It's got 30 towns on it and 12 industries, make money. And so I played that for a while and had some fun with that. And then also for the Extra Life stream, I went back to OpenTTD and played that for 3 hours from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. And
I noticed.
It felt so good. You guys ever have that moment where you become obsessed with a game? You play it a lot for like months on end, and then you put it on the shelf for a couple weeks, and then you come back to it, and it's like sliding into bed at 10 p.m. and you're just like, ooh, back in bed. You guys ever have that feeling?
Yeah, it's like anytime I pop open RimWorld.
I'm struggling to think one. Oh yeah, makes sense.
Or like honestly, Factorio too. Starting a fresh game of Factorio because I'm like, you know what the most is, and David will agree with me. World of Warcraft. Every 6 months, starting a new character and playing to like level 30 for 2 weeks and then stopping. It's great. I love it.
You're still insane for that, but yeah.
So that was me with OpenTTD, and it was the perfect game for 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. because there was I think there was only one person there half the time for the stream. So it was just me, myself, and the trains, and talking to myself to keep the stream active. And I was like, I can keep going, folks.
That's the name of your memoir.
I can keep going. Look, the iron ore trains aren't working right, and I don't know why, so I got to reroute them around
here. What is this voice?
I'm a train conductor. And it felt great. And it's honestly, it's hard to, I've become so obsessed with train games over the last 6 months that it's hard for me to play any other type of game, quite frankly. There is one game that I did fall myself back into, which is Power Wash Simulator 2. I played that pretty heavily for the week that it came out because we talked about this. That game's not amazing. That game is I think that game is like the definition. Well, I wouldn't say it's the definition, but it's a solid 7 out of 10. But if it's the right time and moment for you, where that's the type of relaxing game you need to just let the hours go by and listen to some podcast, it becomes the greatest game in the world, basically. Yep. And so it was like that for the week that I played it when it came out, and then I dropped it, and then we played it a little bit for Extra Life, and I was so exhausted from Extra Life that, we ended Extra Life Sunday at noon, and I couldn't go to bed early. So Sunday afternoon and literally all day Monday, I just played Power Wash Simulator 2. And I have some bad news, folks.
Oh, no.
I finished the game. I finished Power Wash Simulator 2.
Thank God.
So now I'm just waiting for DLC. As soon as that DLC comes out, you bet your ass I'm
going to load that. You should load up one.
Great.
It's funny. I don't disagree with you, but I have come to realize at least we were talking about last week or 2 weeks ago with Bollocks Pit and Vampire Survivors, and those types of games are very much getting you high on playing them and all that sort of stuff. But even those games have good unlocks, goals to go after, and things like that.
100%.
Power Washing Simulator 1 and 2, it's just you finish a job, you get that little gif of you doing the whole thing, and that's kind of it.
And you get like $30, and that's it.
You're rock hard, but that's it.
It's never enough. It's never enough for the next unlock. The next unlock is always like $1,000, and they give you like 500, and you're like, shit, I got to do another job.
Power Washing Simulator is the game that taught me that I should be doing something else and something at least marginally productive while I'm listening to podcasts. Honestly, it's probably the reason I took up painting, because I said, if I'm going to listen to a podcast, I better express myself and have something to show for it.
Buddy, I've got to cut in here. Because you're 100% correct. But sometimes you just need the hours to go away.
I know.
Especially after Extra Life, I'm exhausted. And I was like Monday, and I was like, I should work on the bathroom. I should do this project. I should do that project. And I was like, what if I literally just played Power Wash Simulator for 7 hours straight?
It's just like
pretty much what I did.
I've been there.
Me thinking about that game, I just want, like, it's such a trap. It is, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad for it, but
no. But it's not a trap though. It's not a trap though, because imagine if that game actually had good progression hooks in it.
Oh yeah,
that would be the most fucking dangerous game in the world, because it's already kind of addictive.
Hooks. I have dings. I don't need progression. I just need to hear the ding.
Like, it's already addictive if you're in the mood. But what if it had like Balatro Vampire Survivors type of casino mechanics in it, where it's like, oh, you're not in the mood? Let's just have a bunch of dings and things go off and numbers go up, and now you're in the mood, buddy. Like,
they need to.
I don't want that to be more
supposed to be relaxing. I don't think they want to do that.
They need to add the Borderlands gun, the amount of guns to Power Washing Simulator, where you just get a randomized gun that like does different things.
It's not that I disagree with you. It's just I've come around.
I just so stupid.
The way the game is right now is perfect because it's not too addictive. If they did anything more to make the game better, it would become dangerously addictive, and that's a problem.
They know what they have.
Yeah. So, anyways,
if they're like, if we do more to this game, we will create like fentanyl. Like that's they want to avoid making that
second opium crisis.
I had 31 hours in that game. So that game has a lot of content in it, surprisingly. Yeah. And it's on Game Pass. So if you want a relaxing game, if you want a game to listen to podcast too.
Shit.
I know.
Yeah. If you just want to waste some time, it's the perfect time for it. So it's not like it's going on the GOTY nominee list or anything, but I'm just calling out there. Yeah. It's like, I don't know what I am. I guess I'm like a drug peddler where I'm like, hey, if you need a little something, Power Wash Simulator 2. That's what
I don't. I have so many games to play right now. Like, this year's crazy.
That's fair. But I don't have anything. I do want to give it a little shout out to Jackbox Party Pack. Shut the fuck up.
No, I forgot you had
Jackbox Party Pack 11. Because Jackbox Party Pack 11, Nextlander talked about this before we played this on Extra Life, and I feel like it's true, which is this feels like one of the highest ratios of good games to bad a Jackbox Party game has had, because there's 5 of them, and I want to say 4 of them are great. The only caveat is there's one game that you pretty much have to play in person, and there's one game that you definitely want to play remote. But that being said, 4 out of the 5 games are very, very good, and I want you guys to kind of think with me. This is the 11th game in the series. I don't think they've ever had a bad party pack. They've had party packs where there's like only 2 out of the 5 are great, but it's still enough to be worth playing in a way.
I think
what series?
Packs, but
like what series has had 11 of them where they're like they've never had an absolute stinker?
Yeah,
you know.
I'm sorry, you stole my thunder.
I just had to say it immediately.
Fuck you. That's true.
Dragon Quest.
That's true, but it's rare.
Yakuza.
It's rare.
Tales, no, there's been stickers.
So I do want to give them. I do want to give them a shout out and say, Party Pack 11 is one of the best, and they're still killing it. Good for them.
Oh yeah. I remember what ME is.
Mass Effect.
We played Mind's Eye on Tuesday.
Oh
no!
Honestly, that game was not as bad as we thought.
Not as bad as I thought.
6 out of 10.
I know it gets pretty rough, at least like not story wise, but just gameplay wise. It's very repetitive and stuff like that. But it felt like a GTA game. It felt pretty good walking around shooting things. I popped into some of the like random created worlds where it was just like race tracks and shooting people and driving around, and it was genuinely pretty fun. I got my money back.
They've also patched that game since launch.
Yes, for sure.
A little bit,
but,
yeah.
Because that game barely ran that long.
Oh yeah. But I could totally see it if it had come out and been well acclaimed.
I don't think it definitely had bugs and glitches. I don't think it was as bad as Cyberpunk, where it literally barely ran on.
I don't.
Xbox One and
no.
PS4.
When I say barely ran, I mean there were so many bugs that you might not be able to finish the game, whereas Cyberpunk just performed so badly you couldn't play the game.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. Like if that had come out and had a huge user base building things, and it honestly, if that game didn't have a single player and just came out as a new GTA Online, which I don't think they have anywhere near that infrastructure for free, I think it would have got a significant amount of people over to it. Because they just made it felt like not GTA 6, but it felt like a better, more optimized version of or what could be of GTA 5 GTA 5 Online. So that was Mind's Eye. And then secondly, I'm not going to add it yet, but I think KCD 2 will definitely be on my game of the year list. With how it's going, but I'm only 7 hours in, and I don't want to just
keep going through.
Just say it, but it has been excellent so far. So that is that. And speaking of game of the year 2025, it's time to roll back your watches, boys.
Before we hop into this, I had an idea earlier, and I just want to say it into the ether. What if we had a ranking list, but it was ranking the years of gaming by best years to least year? So you'd be like 2006, best year in gaming. Number 2 is 2012. That could be a cool concept.
Yeah, 2004. Shout out to the golden age of video games. That one video I did, the only video essay I ever made.
What was it? 2023 was really good.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the year that was really good.
1843.
That's a good idea.
Banger year.
Yep. Banger.
1776.
Not a great year for games.
Yeah, Cowards won.
Thanks for the interruption for my perfect segue. Game of the year 2011 is what we're talking about right now. And I have to start this off with some extremely unfortunate news. The three of us have been duped into believing that Mass Effect 2 came out in the year 2011, when it in fact released in 2010 on the Xbox 360.
Oh, the PS3
and PS3
version came out in 2011.
So it is not eligible.
Well, it's a good thing that's not my nominee then.
Yeah, and it's a good thing it wasn't mine either. 2011, folks, is the year that we sadly lost Steve Jobs. And also Randy Savage. Macho Man. Ian does a great Macho Man impression, and I'm not going to let him do it. It was also, I was looking at E3 2011 was that year, held in the beautiful Los Angeles Convention Center. Konami had a presser, Microsoft, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Nintendo revealed, do you know what they revealed?
That would have been Wii U, wouldn't it?
The Wii U, yes, that is right. Sony press conference focused on the PlayStation Vita that was coming up, and the Microsoft briefing had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and then some highlights of this year. Prey 2 apparently was shown off that year. Does that make sense?
But is Prey 2 is the city one, I guess?
Prey 2 would have been the
Bounty Hunter one
to Prey.
But that's the Bounty Hunter
got a sequel,
one, right?
So
wait, no, you're thinking of no,
Prey 2 was the Bounty Hunter one. You're an alien. You're a bounty hunter in an alien city.
Yes. Sorry. I thought you were confusing it with Dishonored for a second. When you said city, it made me think of Dunwall. BioShock Infinite was shown off. Duke Nukem Forever. Come on, Duke Nukem Forever.
If they show it.
That
it was already vaporware at that point.
Couple other things. So, just an exciting year in gaming. We've got our nominees, folks. Ian Gibson, would you like to shout out your nominees or your shout outs and your nominee?
Yeah, I've got two special mentions. First one is Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's a great game. I remember really liking this. It felt like it really hit a sweet spot that there were not a lot of games of, which was kind of a first person. I don't know how to describe this. I'm gonna need you guys' help here, but it's an immersive sim, but it's not a completely open world immersive sim. It felt like a branching path type of thing. And in my head, it was always like, oh, for this mission, you need to get this thing inside this office building. So you can go through the vents, you can go through the office space, you can go through like the janitor's closet. And so it was linear in a way, but it definitely gave you the opportunity to read emails, to figure out different paths to get there. And it had a cool story. And that felt very unique for the time, not because it was new, but because they hadn't really had one of those games since like the Deus Ex and System Shock days, really. So it felt like I'm going to say it felt like a revolution in that it felt like it was going to a forgotten genre, but revolutionizing it and updating it and turned out to be a really cool game. The other one is Frozen Synapse. You guys ever play Frozen Synapse?
I haven't.
This was a game that I really played. 2011, I was still in college, so I had like it wasn't a really shitty laptop, but it was like a barely functioning gaming laptop. So I couldn't play a lot of games. But Frozen Synapse it felt like one of, I don't want to say it was the first, but it felt like one of the first turn-based, top-down, door breacher tactical games where the idea is like, hey, you got a team of 3, this guy's got a shotgun, this guy's got an assault gun. Okay, what do you want them to do? Okay, this guy's going to go through the door, this guy's going to go left, this guy's going to go right, and that's a 2-second turn, and then you hit play, and then they play through their 2-second turn, and then, oh, now you can see an enemy in the room. Now plan out your next turn. And that's kind of become I don't want to say bigger, but it is a micro genre now. There's like 3 or 4 games that are constantly released in that micro genre. And I don't want to say Frozen Synapse was the first one because I don't know that for sure, but it felt like it was in a way. It felt like it was something new. It was something unique. It had a really cool cyber aesthetic to it. I think the storyline was that you were not actually doing these, that this was the hacker space in a way. And so it was really cool. Actually, I don't think it was the hacker space, but I think you were doing like cyberpunk type crimes in order to gain access to server rooms and things like that. And it was just really cool. So I definitely enjoyed that. But my Game of the Year 2011 nominee is something that, David, you brought it up earlier, that feeling when you get through a game and you go, hey, did I just play a perfect game? Because everything worked and I thoroughly enjoyed the entire experience. And that's Portal 2. It was fantastic. Like Portal 1 was such an awesome game that felt very unique, but it was short. You know, it was kind of like an experience in a way. And so Portal 2 had a lot of expectations to it, but it really ramped up the gameplay and introduced some new mechanics and really nailed them. It was a longer game and really expanded on what Portal 1 had done. It had a lot more characters, a lot more story, a lot more comedy in it, and it's just an awesome, awesome game. And it wasn't until several years later, either that year or the next year, that I played Portal 2 co-op with a friend, and I was like, whoa, this co-op mode is really good as well. Like it almost feels like a whole separate game. It doesn't have as much story, etc., but there's a lot of content there that is completely different for you to experience with a friend. So Portal 2, like looking through the list of games from that year, Portal 2 is a perfect game, flat out. That's my nominee, Portal 2, Game of the Year 2011.
Damn, I love it. David, what do you got for me?
I mean, Portal 2 is kind of the obvious answer. Makes sense. For the sake of not just saying the same thing as Ian. We'll fix some different stuff. I wanted to give a shout out to Bastion. That was that year. First title from Supergiant Games. Absolutely fantastic. One of the narratively, for the most part, but gameplay was also very solid. Great isometric action game prior to roguelikes really being all the rave that they are today. And it was a roguelike, but it had a lot of the trappings of a roguelike in terms of how it plays. But yeah, Bastion was great, both from a narrative and gameplay side, and like music, just all in all, great game. And then the other one I'll give a shout out to, actually I'll do 2 super quick shout outs. I don't love either of these games, but I feel like they need to be mentioned. Wow. Binding of Isaac was that year.
Yeah.
It was a big one, not a big one for me, but a big game. Really brought the roguelike games into existence, I would say, for the modern day. And I know I played a ton of that in college, but after that, never really touched that again. And then the other one I'll bring up, you brought up Battlefield 6 earlier today. I'll bring up Battlefield 3. That was 2011 as well. I didn't get to 3 until I didn't get to 3 till way later because my laptop could not handle that game.
Same. I played the beta. And that was it.
I didn't play it in 2011, but I did play it like years later. And had
I just to say on Battlefield 3, I feel like slap me if you feel like it, but Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Vietnam, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2042, those all kind of feel the same.
Yeah, 3 was the biggest leap.
3 was the biggest leap, and I feel like every single Battlefield game since then has just been building on 3. Like there has not been a leap since 2042 to 3. And that really,
I mean,
I know
I feel like they tried to leap in 2042 and it went horribly and they backpedaled.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I know this is not literally true, but it feels like every single Battlefield game since 3 has been built on 3. Basically, what 3 does, what 3 feels, what 3 is, all the other games have just been building on.
I think they've all evolved and done different things since then. But yeah, they haven't done a huge leap in how the game feels since then, like they did from 2142 to 3.
Damn.
But yeah, great game. And then my actual nominee is a game that at the time I pirated because I was a poor college student and played probably a couple
shit. How fucking
statute of limitations.
Hey, I've been pirating a lot of games lately. It turns out it's easier than ever.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly easy. But I played probably a couple 100 hours of this game on my laptop at the time.
Yo, Sega money.
I mean, I bought it later, and I bought all the DLC, so like they got my money. It just wasn't at the time. And then I put another 100 hours in it on Steam once I purchased it, which is Total War Shogun 2. I love that game so much. I feel like it's the last. I was going to say good, and that's not true. I think it's the last Total War game before they started just adding a ton of stuff to it and kind of bloating. Particularly the combat sections, like really bloating it with stuff that's going on. Like I love the Total War Warhammer series. They're great games. There's a bunch of bullshit that goes on in those games. I feel like the Shogun 2 was the last one that's like, hey, this is grounded. It's solid. It didn't have a whole lot of, it had performance issues, but besides performance issues at the time, like it was grounded, it was fun. It was Japan, which everyone loves playing as in strategy games because they have such a unique, the culture at the time that they covered was like so unique compared to like all the Western cultures that all the weeaboos and myself included are just like, this is so cool. I just had a fantastic time with that one. Out of the older Total War games,
let me ask this question first.
Shogun 2.
Have you like played any Total War like campaign mode, Will?
I played Rome a bit, and I played Medieval 2 Total War a bit.
Okay, so you're at least familiar with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I played
wanted to make sure it wasn't a
Napoleon Total War. I played that too.
Yeah, then it sounds like you should play Shogun 2.
I own Shogun 2, so I was like, I should try it. Shogun 2 I own.
Shogun 2 is, I think, probably the closest before they went really far away from what the Medieval 2 was.
Cool.
Okay. I think Shogun 2 is just a much better version of Medieval 2. And then after that, they started kind of changing.
I remember Medieval 2 being fun. But I remember Medieval 2, I played... This was the problem, is like Medieval 2 Total War is really good and I loved it, and we're very off topic, but when I played Mountain Blade, I was just like, okay, this, like, I almost like that. I was like, at the time,
that's a completely different game.
No, but at the time, I wanted to play the person and zoom in. Yeah, and now, as I'm maturing, I feel myself drawn towards, now is the time that I've grown up. I'm like, okay, let me go back to the higher view of this and do armies now.
Yeah.
So I think now's the time to bring it back.
I mean, you should play it so you could get familiar with like Tokugawa and like be prepared for our trip to Japan. So the history.
Oh yeah. Be very prepared for that. Speaking about our trip to Japan, Deus Ex.
You can land it.
Human Revolution was also on my list. I wrote Deus Ex Human Erection because that's what I used to call it, my friends and I. It's funny, I've been thinking about replaying Deus Ex Human Revolution as well as Mankind Divided recently because Outer Worlds 2 features a lot of vents. And every time I crawl through a facility, I say to myself, why couldn't they just design good buildings like they did in the new Deus Ex games? Like nothing.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but they're not good buildings. They're buildings made to be infiltrated.
No, that's what I mean. But like they give you so many options in Deus Ex to like do things, and even regular Deus Ex, where I'm like and even other Bethesda games and other stuff, but it's just in Outer Worlds 2, it just feels like they're like, we need the most of everything, and we're just going to make it all generic and really annoying. And shooting people's probably the answer. So it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day. Dead Space 2, also a fantastic follow-up to Dead Space 1. It's got that great scene where you got to put the needle through your eye. I think it is. I don't know if I like it more than Dead Space 1. It's certainly scarier. And I haven't played the Dead Space remake, but Dead Space 2 is good, and it's not the abomination that Dead Space 3 is. If we were to do actual game of the year in 2011, I would have said Skyrim. I picked it up at midnight. I drank sparkling apple cider because I was underage. My mom drove me to the mall in her Prius. And she every year on the 11th she gets a reminder of it, and she sends it to me and says, I'm a good mom, and I say, yes you are.
That's awesome.
But yeah, but my game of the year unfortunately is also Portal 2. It is a perfect game. I think it has been just long enough. I was thinking this when you were saying Outer Wilds, because I was like, I don't quite remember Outer Wilds, like all the different things in it. Maybe it's time to replay that game. But you know what? A game to actually
to this
replay.
Day remember exactly how to finish that game.
That's the problem. I would probably boot that game up, and know exactly what to do. But I think Portal 2. I think the campaign and the co-op campaign. I think it might be. I
never did the co-op campaign.
Co-op campaign is good. There's fun. A lot of Jake and Kyle played the. They like released another one. They didn't.
Yes.
I don't think Valve released it, but like people design.
Yeah, there's a lot of fan mods. Yeah,
fan mods,
fan levels.
But Portal 2, Cave Johnson, an incredible addition to the like Portal 1 already had incredible additions with GLaDOS and all that sort of stuff. Cube. And the companion cube, and then not surpassing that, but adding on to that in a non-annoying way with Wheatley and Cave Johnson and all that stuff, and the Lemons line, like we all know what to do.
Man, Half-Life 3 is going to be so good when it comes out next year.
I can't wait for them to announce it.
What if it actually does?
I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, I don't want it to ever come out because there is no way it's going to live up to expectations.
No, it's absolutely not. The problem is like the setting of Half-Life 2 is so cool. Like all that stuff is so cool and fun. I really need to play Alex. It's just neat.
There's apparently a pretty solid no VR mod to Alex.
I've heard that.
If you want to play it flat screen. He's got my VR headset though, so he could play that.
Dirty flat screeners playing Alex without a VR headset.
But if you're getting the VR headset out, it's like, why play Alex when you could play VTOL VR at that point, which is a much better game.
Yeah, no, sure. So I'm gonna just say a game of the year. I assume we'll just go with Portal 2 since two of us voted for it.
Portal 2.
And then,
but you know what? I will be gracious here.
That would be my real vote anyway.
Yeah, we have two runners up. So, David, you've got Shogun 2 Total War. You'll get your own superlative if you want to come up with like best whatever game of the year or whatever, and we call that Shogun 2 Total War. Will, I'll give you the other superlative. So if you want to think about that while David tells me what should I say for Shogun 2 Total War? Is it the best one more turn game or the best game for weeaboos?
Best one more turn game for weeaboos.
Yeah, let's do it. Best. Okay, I'll write that down. Best one more turn.
Don't put weeaboos.
Turn game for weebs, and that's going to be Shogun 2 Total War. William, what are we thinking for your superlative? What's your game and what's your superlative?
Are we doing? Might as well do Deus Ex, right? We both shouted it out.
That was gonna be my suggestion.
So best Vents game.
Best Vents game. Yeah, I was gonna say best. How do I
best
pronounce
HVAC
it? Elias Tufixis, the Adam Jensen voice actor who does a lot of video games.
What if you say like best erections?
Best erections.
Best erections. I kind of want to do best.
Yeah, since you said it was human erection.
It's true. I forget what Mankind Divided was. I think Mankind Divided is already hot enough. Divide that man.
That's when you spread them cheeks.
Yeah, you're dividing them where God sewed them up. And
I'm going to call it best HVAC game, if that's okay with you.
Best HVAC game. And that stands for high, vagina, ass.
I think it's heating, vents, and air conditioning.
Yeah.
Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
I think that's correct, yeah.
So there we go. The game of the year for 2011 is Portal 2. The best One More Turn game for weebs is Shogun 2 Total War. And the best HVAC game is Deus Ex Human Revolution. I'm so happy that none of you wanted to nominate Skyrim, because I think in retrospect, that game is good, but it's a little bit overrated. It feels like that's when Bethesda, the wheels started to fall off a little bit.
I like Skyrim a lot. I feel like it got enough flowers, and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's no Oblivion.
Yeah.
Tell you that much.
It's no Fallout 3, no Fallout New Vegas.
Skyrim's one of those games where, like, in retrospect, like, you just can't deny its impact. Like, it was a fantastic game when it came out. It has its issues.
So I was watching Lord of the Rings Twin Towers today, and I got a little upset because the Skyrim ripped off just Rohan, right? Skyrim art design was just like, let's just copy Rohan. And that takes away from Skyrim. Like, if you do it that deliberately, it's like...
I mean, it was 10 years later.
From you.
I mean,
still,
even the Rohirrim's just a ripoff of Nordic culture for the most part, minus the horses. Like, the architecture and style is just like, this is Nordic.
Architecture and style, but I would say not the like, here is a city on a little mountain hill and you like walk up it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that is just Whiterun, huh?
That felt like a rip.
Yeah.
That is just Whiterun.
Yeah. Oh, Skyrim.
Fuck you, Todd Howard. Anyways.
I love you, Todd. I would never say fuck you. I wouldn't dare. Folks, game of the year.
Todd.
Sorry. I never even switched over to the screen. Here's the screen of the past game.
After I spent so much time on the Photoshop. I
wasn't sure you did it, and then I loaded it up and I said, this guy did it. He did the bare minimum. And we're happy about that. Adding to the ranks of the game of the years, currently we have 2000 for Majora's Mask, 2001 is Halo Combat Evolved, 2004 Half-Life 2, obviously, 2006 Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, 2009 Minecraft, and 2015 MGS5 The Phantom Pain. Game of the year for 2011 is Portal 2. The best One More Turn game for weebs is Shogun 2 Total War. And best HVAC game is Deus Ex Human Erection. Thank you so much for being here for that. Folks, this is going to be it for the local chat. So I'm going to hit the button to get out of here, and then we're going to get out of here. So I'm going to hit this button, folks.
Hell yeah, brother.
Thank you so much for being here. David, thanks for stopping by. I was absolutely surprised and delighted when you said you could be on this episode. Did you enjoy coming back home?
I did. I feel like it's been a really long time since we just chilled and talked. So it was nice to.
It's been a while.
It's true. You're back to your my normal image of you, which is very short in the camera, whereas in real life you tower over me and just make me feel strange sensations.
You could just fix that, but
I don't know. I'm back to my image of you being a tiny little man and in a box, and that's how I'm gonna view it.
I'll get to experience David's size at Save Data Subpixel Extra Life 2026.
2026, it'll be great. Thanks so much for everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next time. See everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.